Today on NewsWatch, Clinton and Trump come out on top in New York's primary. We'll break down what's ahead as the race for the White House continues. Plus, searching for survivors. Rescue workers in Ecuador still looking for signs of life after the country's deadly earthquake. See how CBN is providing disaster relief. And changing policies. Hear what a new federal ruling means for transgender people and which bathroom they can use. Thank you so much for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. New York primaries delivered resounding victories for Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. The wins for the Republican and Democratic frontrunners are a sign they could be able to clinch their party's nominations. But despite the outcome, their opponents are vowing to stay in the race. George Thomas has more.
New York delivered Donald Trump his most decisive victory this election campaign.
We don't have much of a race anymore, based on what I'm seeing on television. Senator Cruz is just about mathematically eliminated.
The billionaire tycoon won 60% of Tuesday's vote, the highest total he's gotten in any state.
My first time ever voting, and I voted for him because he's the businessman that will get all the jobs, will get a lot of the jobs back into this country.
Trump captured 89 of the 95 Republican delegates. The landslide sets up Trump for next week, when 5 more states, including Pennsylvania and Maryland, hold their nomination contests. But his opponents, John Kasich.
Now here's what's happening. Nobody's going to get enough delegates.
And Ted Cruz.
All across the country, 65 to 70% of Republicans recognize that nominating Donald Trump hands the election to Hillary Clinton.
Claimed that Trump won't have the 1,237 delegates needed to clinch the party nomination. Kasich won 23% and Cruz 14% of the New York vote Tuesday. As it stands today, Trump has 845 delegates. Cruz comes in with 559 and Kasich has 147. So Trump now has to win around 57% of the rest of the remaining Republican primary votes to win the nomination before the GOP convention, while Cruz has to win 99%. In the Democratic race, it was a huge night for Hillary Clinton.
Today, you proved once again there's no place like home.
Mrs. Clinton, who represented the state in the Senate for 8 years, won by double digits over Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. But Sanders isn't giving up just yet.
It looks like Penn State is ready for a political revolution.
Here he is in State College, Pennsylvania, campaigning ahead of the April 26th contest. But Sanders is simply too far behind Clinton, and she's all but certain to win the Democratic nomination. As for Trump, he's hoping to win the Republican nomination in the primaries as well and avoid a contested convention in Cleveland. George Thomas, CBN News.
The largest U.S. health insurer is pulling away from Obamacare. United Health has made a decision to limit its participation in the Affordable Care Act's insurance exchange. That leaves more than 700,000 people to seek coverage with other insurers. The announcement comes after the company experienced heavy losses when it expanded into 34 states. United Health officials say the company will pull its plans from Arkansas, Georgia, Louisiana, Michigan, and Oklahoma in 2017. Other insurers may move in to those marketplaces to replace it. A federal appeals court has delivered a big win for transgender activists. The Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals in Richmond ruled a Virginia school district was wrong to forbid a transgender student from using the boys' restroom. The ruling threatens North Carolina's bathroom law, which requires students in public schools and universities to use bathrooms corresponding to the gender on their birth certificates. School districts across the country are already scrambling to develop policies for transgender students.
Schools are left in this very difficult situation of saying, how can we know if this is a student just wanting to gain access to the opposite sex restrooms or a student who genuinely believes they are the gender of the opposite biological sex?
There are competing values there. A lot of people are concerned about privacy. A lot of people think that's a moral issue. And it's something that should be debated at the local and state level.
The Department of Education now says schools must allow transgender students to use the bathroom or locker room of their choice, or the districts will lose their federal funding. Utah Governor Gary Herbert has signed a unanimously approved resolution declaring pornography a public health crisis. State legislatures and resolution supporters say porn is more than a religious issue. They said it is highly addictive, damages mental health, and warps children's minds. Resolution author Dawn Hawkins says research shows there are links between pornography and violence against women, increased STI rates, and increased sexual dysfunction. Critics call the resolution old-fashioned and driven by ignorance. The declaration doesn't ban anything, but recognizes concerns as porn becomes more accessible on smartphones and tablets. 3 Michigan government employees could soon be facing charges for their involvement in the Flint water crisis. 2 of those 3 employees are state officials, one from the State Department of Environmental Quality and the other a water treatment plant supervisor. The charges come after the widespread Flint water contamination that threatened the health of local residents. Recovery teams in southern Japan are still finding bodies buried beneath the rubble caused by last week's earthquakes. The death toll in Japan following the recent earthquake has reached at least 48 people. 3 people remain missing. The quake caused landslides, blocking roads for farmers. More than 1,000 people were injured during the quake, and 200,000 people were evacuated to shelters. Ecuador was rattled overnight by a big tremor. The 6.1 magnitude jolt was the strongest aftershock since a lethal earthquake killed more than 500 people Saturday. Chuck Holton is on the ground in Ecuador, where rescuers are still searching for trapped victims.
With the death toll from Saturday's massive quake continuing to rise, search and rescue teams from across Latin America are working around the clock to find any remaining survivors. But there's a lot of territory to cover. Every town and village up and down the northern coast of Ecuador was affected. Hundreds of thousands are without water and power. Heavy equipment operators are in short supply, while residents pick through the unstable rubble to salvage anything of value. Just weeks ago, I was in northern Iraq, viewing the aftermath of a city destroyed by ISIS. The similarities are striking. In Iraq, this destruction was caused by bombs and explosives. Here in Puerto Viejo, the damage was done by the strongest earthquake in more than 60 years. Resident Patricio Villavicencio agrees.
This here is like a war you'd see on television. All the buildings, my place of work, all destroyed.
And he's not sure what he'll do next.
I feel very uncertain about what will happen next. This will take months to clean up, and after that, we will have to start over. This thing is terrible, and who knows what comes next.
What's going on behind me is exactly what the rescuers hope not to find, and that is a body. This one happened to be an 11-year-old girl who was buried in the rubble. And so now comes the delicate process of having to remove the remains. What might be even more difficult to handle are those with loved ones still alive, but trapped under tons of rubble. They're scrambling these workers right now and getting a bunch of people in here because they just received a phone call from this building. There's a woman's husband trapped in there, and he's calling for help. There are search and rescue teams from 9 countries across Latin America here already. But with time running out for the hundreds of people still trapped, many more are needed. This woman is afraid that by the time they reach her husband, it'll be too late. One of the dangers facing those still trapped is dehydration, but that's also now a huge problem for those who escape the quake. Water stations across the area are being overwhelmed, and people wait in line for hours for a simple bag of food or a bottle of water. CBN is on the ground here in Ecuador with emergency medical teams, doctors and nurses treating the injured, and at the same time mobilizing food and water for distribution. And in just a couple of days, CBN will deliver water purifying devices that will clean 1,000 gallons of water a day for the communities hardest hit by the earthquake here. Chuck Holt, CBN News, Puerto Viejo, Ecuador.
Vice President Joe Biden has criticized Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for jeopardizing peace efforts in the Middle East. CNN is reporting Biden said, quote, the only solution to end the conflict is a two-state solution with Palestinians. He warned if Israel does not change, it threatens its existence as a Jewish state. Biden concluded saying the U.S. will always be a close ally of Israel, but the ultimate solution lies in two states. How should Christians respond to ISIS? A panel discussion at Regent University addressed that topic Tuesday. Speakers included the editor and publishers of Providence, a journal of Christianity and American foreign policy. The title of the lecture was Evil, Compassion, and ISIS.
Christians should respond to ISIS, I think, in two ways. We should acknowledge that they are human beings, that in some way, even though it may surprise us, they are loved by God. They were created by Him. But at the same time, as we're feeling that sort of sympathy, that compassion, we should be absolutely against the evil that they're doing, just like we should be against any evildoers. God hates evil. He calls us to hate evil as well. And we should be supportive of our state, our country, as that country seeks to destroy that evil and to eradicate it and to protect those who are suffering under their hand.
Robert Nicholson believes the American church should speak out in thoughtful and constructive ways, but also in forceful ways about ISIS and other terror groups. He says Americans have some responsibility to intervene and help those who are suffering. Still to come, two boys with barely anything to eat. See how they went from sick and hungry to full and happy. The story when we come back. Imagine only getting one sandwich a day to eat. That is what two brothers from Honduras struggle with to survive until Operation Blessing gave their single mother a hand up.
There's only one thing that Eduardo and Jair think about as they walk to school each morning: food. Once there, they receive their first and sometimes only meal of the day, a sandwich provided by the government. But some days the government food doesn't come.
On the days when there's no food, my stomach hurts and I feel sick.
Layla is a single mother raising her children with help from her mom. Ever since she was laid off from the factory, Layla says they've missed a lot of meals. Several times she's had to beg a neighbor to hire her.
I told her that I did not have any food to give to my children. I asked her to let me wash clothes and clean her house.
Layla's income, on average, is only about $50 a month. 8-year-old Jair knows how tough things are, so he doesn't mind pitching in to help.
I like to go to the hill to pick firewood with my grandma. That gives us money to buy some food.
Then one morning, Jair's older brother Eduardo was so weak from not eating that he fainted at school. Jair panicked.
I didn't realize he had fainted. I thought he was dying. I was so scared I started to cry.
A short time later, Operation Blessing learned that the family was starving and provided some help. We gave Layla and her mom everything needed to make tortillas and tamales to sell. Every day, Layla and her mom make a large number of tortillas and prepare corn flour dough for the tamales. After school, the boys help their mom to sell them on their new bicycle, another gift from Operation Blessing.
Everybody loves Mom's tortillas, and we usually sell all of them.
The family now earns $200 a month, sometimes more, and Jair has never gone to school hungry again.
Thanks, Operation Blessing, for helping my mom, and thanks for my new bike.
And you can learn more about Operation Blessing by going to its website and seeing what it is doing around the world. The website is ob.org. Up next, there is a new musical family in town, and these guys play their own instruments. Meet the Willis family, stars of the TLC reality show. Coming up next. So here is the rundown. There's Jess, Jer, and Jenny, Jet, Jack, and Jedi, plus Jazz, Julie, and Jamie. And don't forget Joy, Jagger, and Jada. If you're getting confused, don't worry. The bottom line is they are all talented musicians and stars of the TLC's The Willis Family. Take a look.
This season on The Willis Family. The Willis family, all 14 of them, are the stars of a new reality show on TLC. The Willises have a new record deal and are touring the country in their new bus. Ironically, Father Toby Willis was hesitant about doing the show.
The funny thing is I've been in television for, 2 decades, and people would come to me, especially when the first big family got on, everybody's like, Toby, you need to do this. And I'm like, no way, no, I don't want any part of that. But as the kids went along with their music career, I'm like, you know what? It's just a bigger audience, and it's a way that people can find out about their music.
And every time that I try to rest my troubles.
The road to stardom has had a few potholes, though. In 2004, shortly after moving to Tennessee, the Willis' house burned down while the family was away. All of their instruments and recordings, along with their personal belongings, were destroyed.
But it's still not the city that I'm looking for.
A lot of people are like, that must have been so hard losing all your stuff. And I'm like, no, not really, because all my kids were in the car with me at the time. So it was a matter of perspective.
As their children grew, Toby and Brenda began nurturing their creative talents. Surprisingly, not all of them were naturals at music.
Jess and Jer really did have natural gifts. Came down to the next two, and it was a lot harder for them. They had trouble with pitch. They had trouble with keeping rhythm and things like that. It kind of worked out that they worked twice as hard. It just kind of goes to show that you can have natural talent or you can have a hard work ethic and you can still get to the same place. I don't think everybody in the family has to be a virtuoso, to be part of this or a child prodigy or a musical genius.
But if they want to eat, they got to get good at what they do.
The oldest siblings formed a band and played locally for several years. Then, after appearances on Good Morning America and America's Got Talent, they were thrust into the national spotlight on TLC. Despite their newfound fame, the Willises say having 12 siblings is a great way to stay humble.
Nobody will knock you off a cloud 9 like a sibling. Hey, that was totally stuck up, or that was a terrible note, or you did really bad on that gig, you need to work on that song. That's all stuff that we say to each other. We are each other's harshest critics, and you know what? It saves us a lot of grief.
Seriously, when you have your sister to say, hey, suck it up, stop being such a baby about this, grow up,
In 2015, the first season of The Willis Family aired on TLC. In season 1, oldest son Jeremiah went through a painful breakup that was chronicled on national TV.
Hey, a breakup is a breakup. It's going to be hard whether or not you're on TV. And it was hard, and you know what? I know what I want now, and whether or not people are watching, that's what's important to me.
People see a lot of private things in your life, relationships, and whether it's, with, dealings with your siblings, stuff, or, relationships with a significant other or something.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard, if there's cameras there and you're supposed to be, if you're supposed to be alone taking a walk with someone, there's like a drone behind you and 3 camera guys. It's not the same.
When you have cameras invade your life, you have a choice. Are you going to make yourself vulnerable and let people see the struggles, the weaknesses, or are you going to try to present something that's perfect and beautiful? And we found that the more perfect we tried to make the show, the less people were interested because they weren't identifying with our struggles. We're normal people. And when you go through something like an accident and your faith holds you up and you struggle and people see that, it inspires them.
The Willises learn to play a variety of styles while honing their craft. They also write their own material. Jessica is the most prolific songwriter in the clan.
The process for each individual song has been different almost every single time, and that's what I love about it. And I write in all sorts of different genres. All of our albums have been 100% original, and even at live shows, we jam a lot. We do Irish music where we grew up learning hundreds and hundreds of tunes.
People haven't even heard half of what the kids can do. And they have recordings already, everything from classical, Christian inspirational stuff, flat out rock and roll.
And the question is, what music do we want to be known for? Somebody else's music or for our own music? And I think we all agree that we would much rather be known for our own music.
Homeschooling 12 kids is a challenge anywhere, but especially when the family is on tour, where Mom Brenda also serves as the road manager.
Organizing the chaos, that is the most difficult thing about traveling and having everybody on the road. You know, you try to have systems at home. We call it morning drill. You get up, you take care of your laundry, you make your bed, you clean your room, we have breakfast, you clean up, you start doing school. On the road, that kind of all gets thrown out the window, and then the amount of space is restricted down to a bus. It's a never-ending job to keep being more efficient and more organized so that you can survive and survive well.
The Willises attend a home church near Gallatin, Tennessee, and also try to hold worship services on the road. The most important thing for this show business family is having an eternal perspective and keeping the Word of God at the forefront of all they do.
We believe this life isn't all there is. God has given us a big book, 66 books that we should read through and understand, and part of that is what is our destiny? And to understand that where we came from, where are we going, why are we here? The definition of faith isn't believing in something contrary to evidence or without evidence. The biblical definition of faith is believing in something not seen, but based on good evidence. And the Bible is filled with that good evidence.
The season finale of The Willis Family aired last night on TLC. You can find episodes you may have missed at TLC's website. Stay with us. We are coming right back. CBN is reaching children in Guatemala through a new evangelism project called The Bus of Life. The project uses fun sporting events and Superbook to reach children living on the streets. CBN and special guest Gizmo held events in several parts of the country, bringing hope and the message of salvation to more than 1,000 children and their parents. More than 250 children gave their lives to Christ during the events. You can learn more about what CBN is doing around the world by logging on to cbn.com/international. It is now time for your Wednesday word, and today's word is through. Please don't forget this, especially when you find yourself going through a difficult time or season in your life. The key word is through. You are going through a storm, but there is a blessing on the other side of through. So push through to the other side. The situation, the storm, the circumstance are never more powerful than you are, and they won't take you out. You are coming through it. With that word, make this a wonderful Wednesday. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. Remember, you can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. We'd love to hear what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can always do it on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Hope you'll join us again right here tomorrow. Make this a wonderful Wednesday.